hit the record. We are now live. Welcome to session 14, I believe, of the Infinite Purple Quantum Healing, awesome, fun, good times that we have here. Um, we just we were doing a little talking before. Devora was giving us an update on Arlo and her experience with what we're calling those infinity threads and seeing them as I don't know if you wanted to go through it again and explain Devora, or if you just want me to give a recap.
I can go through it real quick. I just said that, first thing when I wake up in the morning before I even get out of bed, I just lay there and I started visualizing, the infinity thread going from my heart out to Arlo's and back and out to my heart and Arlo's and back. And then as we've been practicing on Wednesday nights where we kind of shift it by a couple of degrees and then send it, and as we're doing it, even with ourselves, I'll shift it a couple of degrees and send it out to my son and back, and my son and back, and then I'll shift it a couple of degrees and send it out to his mom and Arla's mom and back, and then my other son, who's been struggling with his health a little bit, and my and I never direct it to myself. I just always bring it back to myself, the eight and or the infinity symbol. Well, now every time I do it, instead of it being like one going out to Arlo and coming back, one going out. It's become this, I don't even know how to describe it, but it's like the spin, it's the spiral is all connected now. And so it's like all of them are connected as I send them out and they're all anchored in one place, which is me, but they're all spinning at the same time as I progressively send it out to one and bring it back. And it's such a cool thing to see in my mind. It's like, wow, that's a really cool matrix that I just am creating with this spinning infinity symbol.
Can I say something to that? It's almost like when you look at um, the way the Earth spins and the sun and all the, what am I trying to say? With
The solar
the
system.
orbits, yeah, the
Yeah.
solar system, the orbit. It's almost like it still comes back, and I don't know. It's just very cool. I love it
Speaking
how,
of
and
the,
then it comes through your heart. It like comes through the
yeah,
heart space, and that's where it's like giving you back what you sent out, almost.
yeah, it is giving me
Like
back what
it's,
I've sent out.
yeah,
I'm
yes,
convinced that my eyes are getting better. I walked past
yes.
my front window and looked out at the street sign today, which usually I can't make out at all. It says West Southwest 33rd Court, and I looked out at it and just for a moment I could see SW33 and it flicked off. It was only for a second, but it was like, oh my gosh, my brain is making a connection there again. That's so cool. And I'm just expecting it to just get stronger every day.
Absolutely. I love that. And I love how that you made the connection of 33 for me.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's a lot
I live
of,
on 33rd Court. Isn't that crazy? Yeah.
oh, very good. Just the numbers and the light codes and the frequencies
Yeah.
and seeing, for example, right now it's 6 6. And so to me that is 606.
Yeah. Right.
And zeros and ones, knowing that you're connected to your higher self as you flow, as that flows through the heart space and back.
Yeah.
I just thank you, Brian.
Yeah. Has anybody else felt the energy of the new moon here the last 24 hours?
Yes, I actually on
Oh
my
Oh,
way
man,
here.
OMG.
On my
Oh,
way
Oh,
here.
OMG.
Yes.
you can say that
I,
again.
If you hey, you want to talk about a moon thing, just like, oh my God, don't get me started. It's like that.
yeah.
I just hijacked. I don't know if I was
Beautiful.
being shared. Yeah, I just
You
took
did.
that.
I got scared for a second. I was like, wait a second,
That's
what's going on?
me.
I,
It's
I
me.
Not
did
It's
too.
again.
me.
That's what I thought too. That was the
Nope.
same thought I had.
Like, not
Okay,
That's
so
again.
beautiful.
sorry.
That's
I'm
awesome.
glad that's not the imposter again. Oh,
I know. I was like, "How? Oh, wait a minute. Everybody I know has been vetted so far through here."
Okay, I just took it right before we started. So it
Wow.
was full moon rising and it was gorgeous. And it was only 7 degrees here right now. And it's called the
Yeah,
snow moon. So I'll stop
it
sharing.
was
Oh,
4 degrees here.
mm.
I mean, 4 degree, no, 4 degrees below zero here.
Wow.
Yeah, this morning when I got up.
There.
Yeah. And last night when I looked out the window at the full moon before I went to bed, it was crazy. I could see the full moon, but then I could see a second moon next to it.
Hmm.
And I thought, what? Is this my eyes? What's going on here? And so I walked away and put my glasses on, looked again, and I was like, no, I could see it. It was really crazy. I could see this weird, I don't know what it was, kind of a shadow or something. It was only about a tenth of the size of the actual moon, but it was right next to it. And I don't know what I saw. I don't know if anybody else saw that.
Yesterday, well, for the moon yesterday, for me, it looked like it was shining through like tissue paper or something, and it's because it was very just hazy and cloudy.
Hmm.
We have a little cloud cover, so I didn't get to see it much, and it's pretty cloud. Well, it's raining today, so we'll probably see it tonight either. I feel
It
it
was
though.
it was extremely clear here last night, Brian, and even here it had a real halo to it.
Hmm.
It was really interesting how much it had a halo, and then there was this little small moon next to it. I don't know what I saw, but I wish I'd gotten out my phone and taken a picture because
Mhm.
I kept thinking I can't be seeing this right. And I think I was.
That's interesting. I wonder. I would love
Yeah.
to know what that was.
Yeah.
I love.
Maybe it was just Oregon that there was two moons over last night. I don't know,
Hmm.
you know.
So I was glad to have you kind of reshare your experience and how you are sending out these infinity threads and not focusing on kind of one or sending them out because I've had somewhat of a similar experience with it, as I'm walking through these crowds at work at the college, and I'm like walking through this sea of students and people, and I'm like, I can't trying to keep track of singularity or one infinity, sending out. So what I've started doing is almost like these I just blast out like all these threads and just send hundreds of threads out and let them connect to whatever they're gonna, the trees, the plants, the animals, the people, and then just kind of focus on the movement of it, like you have been doing, focusing on that infinity thread and making sure, okay, this energy is being reciprocated, it's clean. Um, so it was very interesting to hear you share similar experience in a completely different environment. I also wanted to say hello to Christine. I think this might be your first one, or is it the second one that you've joined?
Christine's my friend. This is her third time, I think, actually.
Third? Okay, I thought she had
Yeah.
joined once for sure. I knew she had jumped in once, but I couldn't remember.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
this is her third time with us.
nice. Yay.
She was here last week.
Okay, okay, awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. So I had a really cool interaction. Well, not myself personally, but my youngest son, my 7-year-old toddler. So he's been having some rough patches at school lately, and so we have to kind of get these. He gets these cards signed off to check on his behaviors throughout the day and making sure he's listening and performing and not putting his hands on others, and not doing any crazy things that 7-year-old toddlers boys like to do. Uh, so yesterday he had a very, very good day in that regards. And he got all his marks and he hit all of his goals and he was very proud of it. And so he came home and he's telling me about it. And I give him the high five and we do the knuckles and the fist bump and both excited. And I'm just, I tell him I'm just so proud of you, buddy. And he goes, well, Dad, guess what? I saw it. I saw I saw the purple energy. And so the purple energy, it helped to help me make the right decisions and it helped me to stay calm. And I thought, no, no way did my 7-year-old toddler just say this to me. Like he's listening, he's experiencing, he's doing this, and then for him to even leverage it to utilize in his day to benefit him was like, wow, this just shows the immense power and the awesomeness of what we are doing with this energy and what we're doing with this stuff. So I was excited to share that when he shared with me last night. And I thought, oh my God, I can't wait to bring this back to the group. So that has
That's
been,
absolutely fantastic. I celebrate. That's so cool. That's amazing. That's what it's all about, is not just us doing it, but then to teach the generations after us and teach the children to do it too, because they really need it
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
school, make a difference, um, make disciples, like do greater works. That's where I was at this week, because I come back from the Christian background, and Jesus says, you're going to do greater works, greater than I did. I mean, Jesus did some pretty cool stuff.
Oh yeah.
And, I'm ready for greater works, even greater works. Like everybody have greater works, you know?
Well, and that's been a message or kind of a theme for me this last week is reshifting my focus. And for forever since I can remember, I've wanted to save humanity and that savior complex almost. And I've had a battle with it, both the light and dark aspects of that complex. And it's been very hard because I want everyone, I want to save everyone, but I've come some messages, some guidances, some meditations, some things that have come through. And we kind of started already touching on this, but we would exhaust ourselves. We don't have the capacity to treat and deal with 7 billion people that have different ranges of energy. So then you once again you focus on your direct impact. You focus on those people that you can interact with, or you focus these type of teachings. It's like I can't go out and teach these things to John off the street that may not even have any idea of what energy and what those things are, but I can start sharing and we can start conversing and having these sessions with people that are on that wave. So then they can start doing these things and then it becomes more common space. People start to see it and then they kind of start to catch on and it shifts their frame of mind because it is all about that frequency and that vibration and him being in that frequency and that frame of mind for them to be able to attach to these. And so if they have healing, they have things that get in their way, they're going to get blocked. They're not going to hear for this. So then if you're trying to teach or do these things and you're putting it out there, you're just expelling energy out, right? And there's no reciprocation. Um, Another thing that's come up, another theme that's come up is energetic exchange. I had a discussion earlier about energetic exchange and paying for spiritual healings and gifts and how that works and then the concepts of old paradigms and new paradigms and how everybody sees the new paradigm of free energy exchange of different ways of energetic exchange to reduce the reliance on monetary energy exchange because money can be hoarded, money can be manipulated, money can be controlled, so people hoard the resources and then all of a sudden I have the control. Now you have to do what I say to get some of this money, to get these things, or I can manipulate, I can employ, I can do whatever. So the new paradigm is how do we do energetic exchanges that don't rely on a system that can be corrupted? What type of things? And that goes back to the ancient ways, the bartering, the different ways, having something I can offer. Okay, I can offer you to how to do these energetic trainings, or I can offer qigong, and maybe you can give a Reiki session, or you can do a healing this way. And so starting to frame my mind around different ways because I always have a really, really hard time, and I'm trying, I'm asking my guides to help me through this. I have a really hard time charging for my spiritual gifts. For one, a lot of it is innate to every single person. Everybody has the ability to do this, so it's like I'm just showing you what you already have, and in my discussions, some people will, yeah, but you're still spending time and you need an exchange for your time and offerings and those things. And I do understand that. But I think there's like a healthier way to do it. I just don't know what it is yet. And I'm hoping that the energy continues to talk to me, continues to show me these ways, to where I'm comfortable with it. I did have a conversation to help frame different ways of monetary exchange too, to where monetary exchange isn't um, the forefront, the monetary exchange. You have an open system of that to where you have offerings that if someone doesn't have the ability to offer the monetary exchange, they can exchange in other ways. But if someone does have, maybe somebody, I have an abundance of monetary influx, and I'm going to help support you for the ways. And I've seen this in other spiritual teachings, and it starts to resonate with me. I've seen people, you offer donation based things, or you offer ways to, you can, some people could do scholarships and say, hey, I have the extra funding, so I'm going to help support maybe 3 or 4 people to do this, and they have the abundance of that monetary energy, so it's okay. They don't have a problem sharing it. And it's like, now this is my way to appreciate you for what you're doing. I have an abundance of this. Let me give this abundance to you so you can do more with it. Do see Shelly has her hand raised, so I would like for her input.
Okay, so yes, yes, I love what you're saying. I was heart-led to read our Lakota book, and it was talking about that worthless paper that you guys keep trading with or something. And it made me laugh so hard. I was like, oh, yes, that's probably why things are the way they are right now. And I'm having to make a shift on what currency looks like, and like buy, sell, give, or trade, or give away. That's what I heard about 6 weeks ago. Buy, sell, trade, or give away. And I was like, that sounds like our little radio show. Like, what? But it was telling me, or spirit was saying to me, yes, there's going to be some cash, but get used to selling or doing your exchanges differently, because it's going to have to be equal value, fair exchange, and just stay in the flow of the heart, and you're going to be rewarded. Everything that you have is going to be taken care of. And it's like, I always kind of, I don't like to say envied, but sort of envied those that used to be able to um, be supported wholly by the spirit. I was like, I wonder how that looks like. Now I am learning that's what is happening right now. And it's like interesting how every day comes up. So, with that said, remember last week I said this huge need, I thought it was $1,700. It has now been reduced and reduced. I like actually talked to the lady today, and she says, no, you only just really need to have like, I think it was $749 by the end of February. And then she's like, oh, and you know what? Once in a while, I get to have the privilege of giving people a discount. I'm going to give you $200 off.
Hmm.
So we went down to $549. And so I already have 400 because I did exactly what you said. I'm like, hey guys, this is my need. If you feel led to, I will exchange a service with you sometime over the next year. I just kind of need this cash right now to pay for my school, because I want the credentials so that it is more professional, because that's what I'm used to working in, professional and nursing. And I want to give back into the society with veterans or all kinds of things when you have a little bit of, CE hours on behind your name. So anyways, just, I'm very pleased that I only have to have $149 more dollars in a couple of weeks. So I get to finish my level 4 training this weekend, all day, Saturday and Sunday. And I'm just so excited to do this. This is like a big deal to me. So celebrate, celebrate. Yay.
That is
Yeah.
awesome. No, it's awesome. I'm going to let Devora speak because she does have her hand raised before I chime
Well,
in.
I don't share this very often, but I will with you guys because I trust you guys. um, so the past 30 years, this is how my husband and I chose to live. We never had an income. We lived totally on a donation basis. We just decided we were going to do what we felt the spirit led us to do each day. And just, I don't even know the word to use, minister to people in whatever way we, came along. And we would trust that everything was going to come back that we needed. And that's a terrifying place. Especially for me, it was a terrifying place. It was more so for me than my husband. But we just said, if you want to, we had our website, you could give a donation if you wanted to. If you didn't, that was okay too. We were still going to show you the love and still going to reach out to you and be whatever you needed to be spiritually or uplifting you in whatever manner, all kinds of manners. From practical, I mean, I want to say from practical to spiritual, but spiritual is actually more practical to me these days. But, I can tell you that in 30 years, I've never been homeless and I'm not skinny. I have lived an incredible, incredible life. I've traveled all over the world. I've eaten well. I have never had lack. I have had fear that I've had to learn to overcome, but I never had lack. And even after my husband died, I was just like, oh, maybe we're only getting donors and, donations in because of him. And, what am I going to do? I can't live on, $1,000 worth of Social Security. What am I going to do? Oh my God, this is horrible. And it just didn't stop. It just didn't stop at all. And in fact, a good example was in, I think it was 2000. No, it was 2018. I had a fairly old car. It was very reliable, but old. And I hit a deer and I totaled it. Well, it was old, so my insurance wouldn't give me anything. They were only going to give me like $1,500 for it. Well, I can't go buy a car that's mechanically reliable for $1,500. And we live in a state where you can't pump your own gas for a reason because we know nothing about mechanics. And so we were just like, what are we going to do? And my husband kept saying, don't worry, don't worry. We've given out for 30 years. We've given out. We've never been in lack. Something will happen. And we have a friend who owns he goes to the auction, has a used car dealership and deals with pretty nice cars. And so he had called him and he said, hey, Jim, can you keep your eye out at the auction for something that would be mechanically sound, that Devorah could drive? And he said, well, what does she want? And I said, well, I'd like an SUV, but I'll take whatever's mechanically sound. And he said, all right, I'll keep my eyes open. He called us a couple days later. He said, I want you to come down and take a look at something. He said, I have an Eddie Bauer Explorer that only has like 50,000 miles on it. It's just hardly been driven at all. It's got every bell and whistle. Come down. And my husband looked up the blue book and he's like, Jim, there's no way that we can afford this, And he said, well, just come down and take a look at it and see what you think. So we drove down there and it was gorgeous, gorgeous car. And Henry said, well, what do you need for it? And he says, I don't need anything. Here's the keys. And he just handed us the keys to it. And that was the kind of thing that for 30 years I've seen happen in my life to this day. And so how do you put a monetary value on the gifts that God give you? And I understand what we're doing has value and needs to be acknowledged. And there's people that will take advantage of that. And I think two things you have to consider. One, you have to make sure that people understand that you're actually offering, that you have something that you're offering and that you're not just being a nice person, and that you actually have a gifting that you're offering. And number two, if somebody takes advantage of it, it's not your problem. Really isn't. We've had many, many people take advantage of us over the years, and it just would bring more blessing back to us in some other regard when we just let it go. So anyway, that's my thoughts. That's how I lived for 30 years. Haven't had an income or a salary, and the nice thing is donations are not tax deductible in the United States. So,
yay! Thank you,
yeah.
Devorah. Thank you.
Yeah, just it doesn't work for everybody, but it's worked for us. And worked well for us, very well for us. So everywhere that we felt we were supposed to go, everything we were supposed to do, we felt like we were supposed to go down to Central America and start setting up rescues for children that were being sold into slavery and stuff. And we just decided we were going to go do this. And of course, I'm like, how are we going to pay for this? How are we going to do this? Where are we going to go? How are we going to spend? We don't have the money to do that. My husband's like, it doesn't matter. We're just going to do it. We're just going to set the intention. We're going to go do it. And that's exactly what we ended up doing. And for years. And I can't tell you how any of it got facilitated. I just know that it all did. So that's my word for today.
So for the second week in a row, you have absolutely just warmed my heart and made me smile with your shares because I feel that is exactly what I'm looking. This is exactly where this energy is guiding me to and what everything's unfolding towards. And for you to show that you have not only survived but thrived for 30 years living this way. I would add that you say this may not work for everyone, and I would say no, it will work for everyone if they have the commitment and faith that
And
you
the
did.
courage.
And the
It
courage that
takes
you
a
did.
lot of courage. I can't tell you how many times I lost it and
Mhm.
just, went off on my husband, poor man, and said, "Oh my God, we're gonna be homeless and da 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 da," and what am I gonna do? And yeah. And every time we rented a house in Bend, the next town over, bigger town over. We rented a house for 15 years for between 15,000, I mean 15,000, between 1,500 and $1,900 that should have, when we moved out, the guy rented it for 4,000.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah. And when
incredible.
I said to him, how is that? Because we became good friends with him. He said, "Oh, I could have gotten that for," and we knew it. He said, "I could have gotten 3,500 a month for years." He said, "But I just felt like I was supposed to, stand with you guys and what you do in the community and just the love that you give out. And I know who you are. And so we just stood with you and decided to do that." And I was blown away because I knew it was worth more than we were paying, but I had no idea it was worth that much more.
You just showed what happens when you're living in the flow. That
Yeah.
is that is exactly what happens when you are in the flow and you release and let go of all fear and allow the energy, allow the universe, allow God, spirit, source
Hmm.
to take care of you. It always will. And it's wild because you hear stories of this all the time and you hear it. And this is really the first time that I've had someone that I've actually known personally that had such a deep experience with it. So thank you, Devora, because this gives proof. It gives hope. It's like
Yeah.
this is not just a story I'm reading in a book. This is not a story. These are not words I'm reading on a screen or on paper. This is actually happened to someone I know. This is actually a reality, and this fits really well into what my conversations had today and this whole monetary thing. And like, because a lot of people that I talked to today, their argument was back, well, we're still living in these 3D constructs. We still live in a monetary world. We have to have that monetary exchange. We have to have this to survive. And I said, no, that is just keeping those old paradigms alive. And that's what
Yeah.
it wants. It feeds back. Oh, I have to have this. I have to have this. So you can never let it go. And if you can't let
Yeah.
it go, it's always going to survive. And you just prove you can let it go. You can.
We decided to let our house go in Bend and move to Redmond because it was closer to my son's farm and it was right before the accident. We didn't know obviously the accident was going to happen, and we wanted to live closer. So we had given notice in Bend and we were going to move to Redmond, and it was kind of weird because we did that and my mind was thinking, wait a minute, what did I just do? There's absolutely no rentals in this market. And if there's anything, you people, the only way you were renting a house in our market was if you took it sight unseen and paid an astronomical amount of money for it. And so when we let go of the house in Bend and decided we were going to move to Redmond, I was panicked. In fact, I had one of my biggest meltdowns, and my husband kept saying, "Don't worry about it, don't worry about it." And I was seeing him getting more frail, and I just didn't know what I was going to do. I was all of a sudden I had to be out in 30 days, and I didn't have a place to move. And I was like, I just asked in spirit, what do I do? And I literally heard this clear voice in the center of my being that says, "Don't worry, I've got it." And the next day, my best friend called me and she said, "Are you still looking for a Redmond rental?" And I said, "I am. Why?" She lives in Redmond. And I said, "Yeah, why?" And she goes, "Oh, the house across the street from me, they're going to put it on the market and they would rather have older people. They don't want a bunch of little kids and, whatever. And I don't have little kids." And they said, I told them about you and they said, "If you want it, it's yours and they'll even give you a good deal on the rent." I took it sight unseen and it was across the street, literally. I mean, she's right out that window, across the street from my very best friend. I moved into the house and 2 weeks later, my husband died. What a provision for me that I was living across the street from my best friend. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was 6 weeks after the baby's accident. So we were all in shock anyway, still. And I was barely putting one foot in front of the other and moved in. And then Henry died 2 weeks to the day after we moved in. And I was like, oh my God, I am right where I am supposed to be. Everything just gets orchestrated when you trust. That doesn't mean you're not going to have fear. I mean, I've had many meltdowns over the years that I'm not proud of. But I just can
I
tell you, it comes about.
Yeah, I've seen these on small levels myself. I've experienced it on the small level. And it's interesting to hear you speak because it's almost like I feel like you are just a version of me and my wife. My wife is always the one, oh my God, what are we going to do? This is this, and it's stressing and worrying. And I'm like, don't worry, it's going to be okay. It's always and sometimes she wants to punch me because she's like, God, would you stop saying it's going to be okay? And then, but it always
Yeah.
is. And then I always tell her afterwards, like we've gotten through every single thing that life's thrown at us, and we've come out stronger every single time because we stay faith, we hold the faith, and we come from love, and we're good people.
I know there was times when I just wanted to shake my husband and say, "Oh, could you worry a little bit? Could you just be a little bit worried about this? Because I'm like freaking out over here." But I realized something a long time ago, Brian, and maybe this will help you. Um, I believe that for the most part, and I don't want to generalize, but for the most part, we as women, we build the nest. And if something happens to jeopardize our nest, we're like mama bears.
Hmm.
And that's not to say that husbands aren't, responsible and providing for their families and doing all those kind of things. But there's something innately in a woman we're going to make sure our nest is always secure. There's no threat to the nest. And so when I realized that, the way I looked at things and provision and all that kind of thing was different than my husband looked at it. And so that helped me when I kind of realized that. I don't know. That's just me.
Well, I appreciate your share once again. Second week in a row that I just have greatly, greatly appreciated it. So thank you for sharing and speaking and being a part of all this. I cannot express my gratitude for each and every one of you guys that are in here because we are all literally, I see it. We are making a difference out there. We are making a change. We are making a dent in the energy. We are making and helping and assisting this shift. And it becomes more and more apparent to me every single day. And stories like that, and stories from all you guys, and hearing all your interactions, and then my kids and other people I'm sharing with, it's just incredible. And it just gives me so much happiness and joy, which then feeds the energy even more and it makes it stronger and grows and just, wow, good stuff, good stuff. So I think on that, if nobody else has a share, we can jump into working with the infinite breath and then go into the trance meditation. I don't know if we're going to go focus meditation because when I did take part in the peace experiment or the peace intention experience that me and you participated in, Devora, that Lynn McTaggart did, I realized that she didn't have a focus picture when she was doing it. It was all about the energy and what you're focusing on. It didn't matter about the picture. It was nothing really to a picture. So the music is key and just the intent is key. I did see Ron raised his hand for a second, so I wanted to make sure that he didn't have something awesome to say.
Well, I did feel kind of a flow to share just things that have been really coming through for me. So maybe if it's okay, I'll just give you just a quick just a quick update. Like it's like this. It's like, okay, so we're kind of been going into this full moon and we kind of had the full moon thing and I've been feeling those energies like crazy. And it's really cool how it's been opening up inside and oh wow, like the Hebrew letters have been just I just decided to call it the sacred flame letters because I don't know if it's limited to just three languages or four, maybe Chinese, who knows. But I'm just like those raw building blocks of pure source are like I just it totally boggles my mind because I feel like my I feel like my mind is like this ultimate freaking supercomputer that can visualize and do these things that are just like so in 3D, it's like, oh my God, you'd actually have to get good glasses and be able to see the computer better. And it's like, it's like, geez, these are details on Mother Earth. But it's like, it just doesn't even slow me down from like the visualizing I'm doing. So I just want to get straight to the point with you. But like, long story short, it's like this, like, the Hebrew living letters, like, the sacred flame letters, it's been crazy opening up. And I'll kind of summarize. There's like a wholeness to it, right? Why don't I just summarize? If there's any theme that's going to help us, it's just warmly remembering in our own hearts kind of the concept that all is well. Like you couldn't simplify, like like the tangent I want to run on right now is involves like multiple languages all the way through the equinox and back, seeing it in reverse time and all this. And you know what? You know what? Um, it's just like we're literally like lucid dreaming where we used to be humans that would have, however, so often we'd have our spiritual experiences, and those are the ones that really got our appetite and like, wow, we kind of gravitated in that direction. So we went from humans having a spiritual experience, and then we just kind of go, yeah, whatever, man. I'm such a like spirit having a human experience. You know what I mean? It's like, um, I, where I'm going with this is like, I'm just grateful. I'll just summarize it like this. Like on the inside, it's like all opening up. Like it's all opening up, like all the chakras, all the auras. I don't have to know every last thing of all the Hebrew and the how it all fits together, but it's all gelling. It's all gelling to be like embodying. It's like there was one whole year, it was just like just be lost in the cosmic ocean and just completely have no concept which way is up anymore. And that was deconstruction, rebuild your whole freaking frame of reference on everything. And then it was like just when you couldn't be more like in the cosmic ocean, inside grandmother turtle's shell, and you're just like so whatever. Then it's like, hey, how about try grounding some of this and completely go through the ultimate roller coaster ride so that you can actually be okay in your own physical body. It's only took 54 years. Might as well just get used to it and get over it. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, whatever, deconstruction, like shadow work. And it's like, that's cool, man. That's cool, man. We all go to the Mall of America. We can all ride the roller coaster. But at a certain point now, it's okay. It can smooth out now. It's like, I'm not crying about these energies. Like, we're poised for the most epic freaking game changer things that we've ever seen. So it's just like, it's okay to just buckle up for the ride, like, and it's like I swear to God, the dot connecting is like, I try not to, less and less and less and less. I try to throw around labels, but there are frames of reference when you're learning things and on a journey. But it's like the way I see all the mythology have the common themes going. Then I see like the star knowledge having the themes with every far out, whatever consciousness thing. But see, like it's only really like getting rid of our judgments or what we've told not to even, like I'm not crying about the paradigm or I'm not crying about a culture that's broken and puts blinders on people, but it's like thank God we ripped those blinders off now. And it's like that. It's more gratitude. It's not like poor me. Oh, I went to church, so now I get to gripe about it. I'm so over the gripes. Man, I'm just like, welcome aboard. Are you finding out more about Yeshua? Cool, let's do this. Woo! Like, I don't have a bunch of gripes about the church and on. I'm just over it and I want to love. All right, that's what I got.
That was awesome. Thank you, Ron. And I got one takeaway on that is the you stated earlier you said we're always we were constantly searching for that information. We're constantly searching for more. We're constantly doing this. And when we do that, what we're telling ourselves is that we don't have it. Because if we're constantly looking for it,
That's right.
well, you're telling yourself you don't have it. So if you stop looking for it and realize you do have it already, you have it. And then the things that you need to know will just, as Devora kind of eloquently put, come into your life. Source will
Mhm.
provide it to you. Devora?
Well, I gotta say, I gotta make a comment about that because my personality, I mean, I'm an education driven person. And so, I've got multiple degrees. I crave education. I love learning, right? And so I've been on some of the same path for many years that Ron's talking about, with the Hebrew letters and the gematria and all that kind of stuff, and other disciplines. And it's been frustrating because since I lost my vision, I can't study like I used to. And so it's made it very difficult for me and very frustrating for me. And, I'd be really trying to pursue understanding and knowledge and understand this more and more knowledge about that. And one day I just heard real clearly, why do you keep trying to partake of the knowledge of good and evil? Why don't you look at the tree of life instead and look at and that's in the midst of your being, because everything you need to know is already in the midst of your being. And you're just continuing to try to pursue the tree of the knowledge of good and evil instead. Anyway, that's it.
Wow,
Mm.
wow. Thanks. Wow.
So,
Oh my word. Can I dovetail on that for 1 second? Okay. Devora, I'm giving you the official OMG because that was like so OMG, right? Because here's what it is. The beauty of it is all these mysteries came from the search from within because the only going deep within was the only relief on this Mother Earth routine for me. So like at a certain point it was like, oh my God, I can't run and from life and be stuck in all these upper chakras all the time, you know. And it's like, you know, so where am I going with this? Here's the beauty of it. The way that the real answer is on the inside is beautiful like this, right? This is so insane because like 2 years ago, everything had to be just the right kind of meditation because, oh, that's my huge priority right now, right? You know, I actually went way into making that a priority, and I don't, and it was worth it for me. I did it. So now, like at this point, it's like, hold on, man. The same stuff I used to sit and intentionally meditate about, and it didn't matter because my body was so freaking broken. It wouldn't even matter. Thank God I created the perfect. Oh my God. Oh my God. Thank God the perfect provision. You want to talk about setting up a provision? Oh my God, Devora, let me tell you this. Talk about living by faith. I was like praying on the border of Minnesota for like a solid week, and I had a vision like, what is where I'm moving to, and what is this all about? And I saw these colors. It was like magenta, yellow, and black. And I get the magenta and the yellow. It's all this plasma fire. It's all this soul star chakra. It's all this intergalactic. I didn't know any of that stuff. I just knew whatever I knew, and spiritual discernment and all that. But then it's like, oh my God, I saw a picture of it. And then after 3 years, it was fully full circle where I was living. And it was like, boom, to a T when the leaves change. It was done. I knew it. And all that black that I saw in a vision 3 years before, it was all the mysteries. It was the Choshek. It was the Chokmah. It was the Ein Sof. It was the Lilith. It was the black fire, the white fire, the whatever. It was that which is to be in perfect harmony and balance. So once now it's at this stage of the game, and we're going ultra epic into another solar cycle. We're just turning into the sun as the days get longer and be like, oh God, here comes all of 25. But we can be the Nexus Now point. Yet also anticipating these beautiful things as that light now gets brighter. So now all that stuff is painted on the inside of me. I see it all the time. Not all the time. When I need to see it, it's just as real to me, wide awake or in a meditation. And it's like, I think I'm going on and on and on. So I'm gonna call her good right there.
and it's all good. I can always listen to you talk, Ron. I appreciate your delivery. I appreciate your mind. I appreciate how you see things and approach them. So, thank you. Thank you for sharing. But you do give a good point. It is getting later in the hours, and we should probably do a little breath work and some meditations here so we can talk about that because I think we could all talk for days upon all these subjects and be entertained fully. I know I would. Um, so yeah, let's get into it. I'm kind of excited because I wanted to, with you mentioning the full moon, Ron, I kind of wanted to add a little something into there, but so what we'll do for those listening, those of everyone has been here, so they participated, but We'll go into the guided breath work where we create the quantum infinite purple loop within us. We will start sending out infinity threads, and then once we are really into that space, we'll throw on the shamanic music, the didgeridoo and drums, and set the 8 minute timer, and then just drift off into the abyss for 8 minutes, knowing that we have the timer to bring us back, and we'll go into that. So we'll just kind of flow right into that from the breath work. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and get prepped up. Let's get ready. Let's go ahead and just kind of relax the body. Any issues, anything from the day, anything we've been carrying from the day, let's just set that off to the side because right now we do not need it and there's nothing we can do about it right now. So anything that we're thinking about, any future plans, anything, dinner, what we're going to do for bed, what we got to do tomorrow, what our day is going to look like, let's just, once again, we'll set all that off to the side where if we want to, we can pick it up later, but right now we do not need it and we do not want it to distract us. So now that we have all those preconceived, all those carried emotions, all those carried thoughts, all those distractions set off to the side, we can get relaxed and settled into our seat, get very, very, very comfortable, allowing the chair, the couch, the whatever we are sitting on to just fully, fully support the body so the muscles can fully relax, but we are still upright, we are still supported, and we are still comfortable. Allow the feel of the cushion in the back of where you're sitting to kind of press against the skin and feel its support, feel its comfort so you can slip a little bit deeper. You can relax just a little bit more and find that place of calm. Find that center. We can find one thing I like to do is draw an imaginary line from the top of one of our ears to the top of the other, and then another one from the middle of our brow, right at the third eye, straight out the back of our head. And then where these two lines intercross, it is called the seat of the soul. And it is a space within the brain where all the hemispheres, all of the brain kind of meets, and there's a little bit of a void right in the middle of the brain where no brain activity goes on. And that is where we can rest and sit during our meditations. So we are not distracted, but we are sitting amidst the peace at the seat of our soul. So now that we're calm, we're supported, we're relaxed, all our distractions are now gone. We can start creating the energy within us. And this time, we usually bring those things in that make our heart sing. Today, I want to bring those things in that bring our heart peace, that bring that sense of calmness over to us, over our body, because that is what I want to share with the world today. That is what I want us to start kind of broadcasting out is calm, is peace, is clarity. So now that we are coming from that place of peace, we're sitting at the seat of the soul, undistracted, calm, supported. Allow that energy, allow that peace, allow that calmness to kind of grow within the body. Allow it to just further relax the muscles and fill your entire energetic being, the space that surrounds the body. Allow it to fill up. And as you see it filling, pay attention to it. See if it's a certain color. See if it's more like an electric energy, a fiery energy, what type of energy. but really start to define it so it starts to come to life within you. Normally, I see purple with this, and that's where this purple energy has come from. Purple, the color of higher consciousness, the color of the third eye and the crown chakras, the color of unity, color of love, the color of the violet flame of healing. And as we allow that to just kind of fill our entire being, we can start the breath work. So we start at the base of the spine, at the root chakra. And on the in breath, we're going to follow all the way up to the crown. But on the in breath, we start and it comes up the right side of the body, starting to cross over, coming over, and at the heart, it will cross over to the left side, coming up the left part of our upper torso, continuing the in breath until it comes up over the crown. And then we begin to exhale as it comes down the right side of the torso, now the upper torso, crossing back over at the heart to the left side now, and continue the exhale as it goes down the left of our belly, back under our root where it connects and completes that infinite loop of energy within us. So on the in-breath, we're following up, allowing it to cross over at the heart, coming to the opposite side, up over the crown, and then on the exhale, down the right side, crossing over at the heart again, down the left, back under the root. And now let's just pivot about 15 or so, pivot some degrees. And this time as we inhale, it comes up, and this is kind of maybe the right back of our body, still crossing over at the heart, and now it comes up the opposite edge of the upper side of our torso at the front left, up over the head, and then exhale, release, relax, and allow the energy to flow back down the back right, crossing over again at the heart, then up the front left, back down under the root, pivot another 15 degrees, and then up, following the energy up on the in-breath, crossing over at the heart, allowing it to invigorate and charge the body as it rises up within us from the root to the crown, up over the crown, and then begin to exhale, allowing it to come back down the opposite side you were just on, crossing back over at the heart, coming back down, and then finishing the loop at the root. Again, pivot 15 degrees, probably are at the back of the body, maybe directly behind you, coming up, breathing up, following the back side of the spine, crossing over at the heart, coming up the front of the torso, up over the face, passing the nose, and then over the crown, down the back of the head, the spine, crossing back over at the heart, continuing to exhale as it comes down and connects back to itself at the root. Pivoting 15 degrees now to the back left, up, cross over, continue to inhale as it comes up the opposite side, up over the crown, and back down, crossing back at the heart, relaxing, releasing, cleansing the chakra system as it connects back under the root, pivoting 15 degrees again, up the far left, still kind of to the back, up, over, crossing over at the heart, coming to the opposite side, up the upper torso, the front of the body, the front right, over the crown, down the back of the head, spine, crossing over at the heart again, coming down the front belly, up front left, or right, sorry, down on this root again, and now pivoting, and we should be coming up probably the left side of our body now, just direct left, up the left side of the belly, allowing the energy to rise up from the root, crossing over at our heart, continuing up as we breathe in, allowing it to rise up, invigorate, align the chakras as it comes up over the crown, back down the left side as we exhale, crossing over the heart, relaxing, releasing, settling back in to the support of our seat, completing the loop at the root, up, pivoting 15 degrees again, up the front left of our body, crossing over at the heart, continuing to follow the energy up over the head, back down the front left, crossing back at the heart, coming down the back right, connecting back into completing the loop, pivoting 15 degrees further to the right now, coming up that front right or front left cell, crossing over at the heart, up the back right, over the crown, exhaling, relaxing, releasing, allowing everything to settle in, all the chakras to settle in, align themselves, and flow freely as it continues down and then connects back to itself, pivoting 15 degrees again to the front of us, breathing in, coming up the front of the belly, through the belly button, up to the heart. Continue to inhale as it comes up the back side of the head, over the crown, then down the front of our face as we relax, release, settle in, crossing back at the heart, back down the back of our spine, under the tailbone, and connecting back to the root, completing the circuit. Another 15 degrees, front right now, coming up the belly, crossing over at the heart. As we breathe in, we charge and invigorate the chakras as the energy passes by each one. Finally coming up over the crown, back down the front right, crossing over the heart, back down the back left, connecting, completing the loop, pivoting 15 degrees, a little more to the right, on the front right still, up over, crossing at the heart, allowing it to charge and align, strengthen us. And then on the exhale, we relax, release, settle in, allow it to cross back over, come back down the back left, completing the loop as it comes down to the tailbone, connecting under the root. Now that we are back at our starting point on the right side, we can just check in and do one final breath, and this time allow each one of these chords, these pathways that you created, just breathe in and each one just come up. They converge at the heart, crossing over to the other side, breathing in, up over the crown, and then coming back down, washing down over the body, rinsing out any stagnation from the chakras, from our energy field, crossing back over at the heart, coming back down. Now this time that now that we have these infinite vortex within our body, that never-ending supply of this wonderful energy within us, we can now send infinity threads out to everything we interact with. All plants, all animals, all humans, all entities, everything that we interact with. And we don't have to even just focus one at a time, just send out a plethora of these energy threads and allow them to connect to what they connect with. And just envision the thread curling around the tree, curling around the person, curling around your pet, and then coming back to you, knowing that this energy is already charged, this energy is already of higher consciousness and of healing. So no lower vibrational energy is going to come back to you because it's going to meet this energy and be instantly transmuted into higher vibrational, unconditionally loving energy. So we share this as much as possible, and you can see how this can compound upon itself. The more we share this, the more infinite loops and threads are coming back, feeding our infinite vortex and feeding that energy, strengthening it, empowering it further, charging it further. So now I just want to take a couple breaths and allow these threads to connect. Really feel the energy as it returns back to you and then charges you, and then expand it back out. Just pure love, pure consciousness, pure unity vibe. wrapping around whatever entity it connects with and coming back to you, creating and completing the loop. So let's do a couple breaths of that, just really feeling that, or really allowing the energy to charge itself up, feeling the peace, the unity each time these threads come back to us, completing the circuit, completing the healing, completing the energy. And then now, since we are in the full power of the snow full moon, I want us to send an infinity thread to that full moon to connect to its energy. So as we breathe in, allow the energy to rise up, crossing over at some point to the other side of the loop and going up over the moon, coming back down just like we did with the crown and gathering up all that full moon energy and bringing it back down to our energetic body, to our essence, and then back down under us, connecting back in, creating this infinite thread of energetic exchange with the full moon, bringing its energy down to the body, to the soul, to the spirit, and creating this infinite exchange of energy with the moon. And just take a moment to feel it. Feel the power of the moon washing down over you as it comes down, and then sending your energy back up to the moon. So you're sharing your love with it, you're sharing your unity with it. It comes back down, it shares its magic with you. So now that we have established this connection with the moon, let's ground this energy into Gaia by creating another infinity loop that comes down from us. It could start at the heart. So maybe these two, the bottom of the moon energy and infinity loop and the top of the earth energy infinity loop intersect at the heart. And then just reach down, allow it to cross over, reaching down into the core of the earth, gathering the good energy from Mama Gaia. And as I inhale, breathing, bringing that energy up through this infinity loop, and it connects, crossing back over at the heart where it interacts, connects, and bridges the gap between the moon energy and the earth energy. So now we breathe in, we're gathering energy up from the earth, sending it up to the moon. And as we exhale, we bring the moon's energy back down to us, back down to Gaia, and back down to humanity. Sharing this energy with all the infinite threads we created in the previous step. So we're further invigorating the energy, further charging the energy, as well as sharing that energy with everything we interact with. And allow that to just continue to flow through us, continue to go, continue to be. And now I'm going to share the sound. I'm going to share the screen so we can get the trance music going and our 8-minute timer so we can just fully relax, release, and enjoy this energetic exchange between us, the moon, Gaia, and every one of our interactions. So here, let me get to continue with your breath, continue with the flow, and I will catch you all in 8 minutes.
No music.
I'm not hearing music.
There's no sound of anything.
Is nobody hearing any music or sound? Sorry.
I wasn't hearing any music, but what I did was I was just improvising with my own breath work, like just on the inhale and the exhale and the holding it, just whatever number felt like the right count, just to bring it myself into that heart space and that shamanic beat. Long story short, no, there wasn't any volume though.
I
Let me
couldn't
try
hear
that.
any music either, but
You know what I
when I
did?
started stressing about it for a minute, I heard, listen to the music in your heart.
Uh, I appreciate you guys bringing that attention. I think I forgot to check the box to share sound. So I apologize, but let's keep going with the flow and we'll reset. So, let me reset my timer. Ah, okay. Let me know. Can you hear it now?
Sound. Yep, totally good. Didgeridoo. Let's go.
Awesome. All right. We will catch you all in 8 minutes. Keep going with the flow. Share the energy. Oof.
Wow.
Oof. Wowzers.
Wowzers. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I have a. That was wild. That was a quite the experience. I'm kind of trying to recover, not recover. I don't know what the wow. Um. So yeah, let's go into it. Started going with it, envisioning and creating. So I had the energy vortex within me, and then sent the one up, the energy thread up to the moon and back down, and then connected one to the earth, and allowed all three of them to kind of just flow and merge or interact and cross over with each other. And then I started paying kind of attention to it. First, I went to the moon connection, and I saw the infinity loop there, and it was this silver, like the silverish of the moon, but like that, or mercury. It was this almost iridescent silver, the color of the infinity loop that went up to the moon. And as it came down and merged with my energy vortex, it picked up some of that purple energy, and it got this purple iridescence to the energy. And then I checked in with the one that was going down into the earth, into the core of the earth, and it had this reddish orange, almost fiery energy to it, and then that was coming up. And so then that came up and kind of invigorated the body and merged in with the energy vortex within me, and it gave it like this almost galaxy look to it, this purplish with that silver hue and iridescence to it, and specks of red and orange kind of going. So it's very celestial and galaxy like. And then I had a thought of a meditation my Sifu taught me, and a Qigong exercise he taught me called joining heaven and earth. And it was very similar to what we're doing here. And you're joining heaven chi and earth chi, and you're connecting up and opening up the crown chakra, and then
Hmm.
opening up the root chakra and allowing these energies to come in and connect at the heart. So it really reminded me of what we were doing here. So then I was like, okay, let's send this energy out now. Now I've got this energy created. It's flowing. It's started. So then it kind of just went out, and it like all of a sudden my body became that color. It was like I don't know if you've seen like the Silver Surfer in the comic books, and they're that
Hmm.
iridescent color, and their skin. So all my skin was like hardened, like diamond and crystallized, and became hardened by the energy, and just created this like sh armor or the shield around me. And then I started infusing the energy into the infinity threads that I created earlier with everybody in all my interactions. And as I did that, it was like the world was kind of outside of my energetic bubble, was this grayish, dull, not very vibrant, blurry almost look, kind of like in dreams where things aren't always super sharp. But then as the energy infused and started connecting in with these loops, they started to colorize and become Technicolor and HD. And the world around me started becoming Technicolor and HD. And everything was just glowing and vibrant with beautiful colors and just flowing with energy. And then I checked back in, and I was looking at the infinity loop above, and it became this. If you've seen the Never-Ending Story, like a luck dragon, a feathered white or silverish white dragon, and that was what the energy flow was. It caught its own tail, so it was an Ouroboros basically, and it was just flowing this feathery, beautiful dragon kind of flowing through. And then the Earth one was this red, very traditional, like Chinese style dragon that was going in and coming in with the Earth, and it was reddish orange, really earth tones. And so that was connecting in, and they connected into the purple dragon within me. And that dragon was more like medieval like. And as it came up and rose up, kind of rose up behind in me, and then it spread its wings out, and its wings were like they were behind me. So it was like they were my wings. So these wings, it was like almost connected. And so I had these huge medieval dragon wings that came out. And this voice came to me at this point. It says, "Are you ready to fly? Because it is time." And then I sat with a peace, and I was just like, and I was like, Yes, yes, I am." And then the timer went off. Here we are. Wow. Okay. That's where I'm at. I'd love to hear everybody else's because that was crazy powerful. Is there anybody else that would like to share their experience?
Man, that's totally insane. Can I jump in?
I would love that.
Okay, massive dragon rider. That's exactly what happened to me. I just check
Mm.
this out, right? Check this out. I chose to quantumly like speed up the meditation uh in my mind, like just in a speechless way, just with my heart and my mind. I just went like and I like sped up the meditation where we do the like the purple goes up and through the heart and around and down. And I just was like, hold on, man. This is the Hebrew letter Ga. This is literally the picture of the spiral. And I'll stop going
Hmm.
into this big long-winded thing about the spiral, but I'm telling you right now,
It's
the
a
where
spiral.
we're going, man, if I even get into it, it's a secret letter. Not a secret
Hmm.
letter, I'm sorry. It's a mystery letter. All right, it's a mystery letter because you don't find that spiral until you look deep within, and that's
That's
so
right.
that the
Yep.
Hebrew letter Ga is literally quote unquote, it's like contained within the other letter called Ayin. It looks kind of like a Y, like a big cursive capital Y, but at the top is like two eyes. So it's looking inward. So like I sped up the meditation, like the way that we usually like trace the lines and then going in a circle. It's kind of like those latitude and longitude. I'm like, man, I could do these lines, but what if I just go and just go everything's like this giant purple toroidal thing that just like instantly went into Merkaba mode. And I'm like, boom, I exploded out of whatever I thought I was, and I became a purple dragon. And then once I became a purple dragon, I completely jumped quantumly into my dreams and visions and whatever those are, and it's all beautiful, and some of it involves land, whatever. But when I'm in the creative zone, I'm not feeling any density limitations that would blind us. And, in our waking state, when we're walking around just trying not to be hypnotized by our experience on the face of Mother Earth, like, no, we just completely let go of all of that. And it's like, and now I'm in aerial footage in full dragon mode, and I'm looking down on my land. I'm seeing the buildings and I'm seeing the projects. I'm seeing the everything just flowing like. So, long story short, the way that that dimension opened to me was totally different, beautiful light. And I've been focusing on the upper three layers, which have really created, like, I don't mean upper three layers. I've been focusing on maybe the 14, 13, 14, and 15 aura. Then they have like these different colors. I've been seeing like different light. So, oh my word. Yes, it's transporting us like,
Yes.
and because here's the thing, like, if we're going to be so 5D, then we're not going to be limited like we think in the 3D. That's what I'm trying to do. And that's what I got.
Awesome. That was awesome. I love the synchronicities. I love the dragon riding. I love us spreading that out. Just wow. That was really, really powerful. I'm like still just really like in a kind of state of bliss right now, just really harmonized with this energy and with the moon right now. So I'm feeling pretty good. I'd love to
Yeah.
hear from anybody else that's feeling it.
Well, I feel like I'm talking a little bit too much tonight, but I just
Wow.
have to share I have to share what happened. So crazy. First of all, thank you for sharing that thing about the planes, in our brain where they intersect, that spot in our brain, because I've heard that before, but I forgot it, from top of your ears and then this way. And so I was just kind of visualizing that as you were talking about it. And all of a sudden, I just saw three lights, like one bright light in the middle and two smaller lights, like stars almost on the two sides. And I thought, oh, wow, that kind of looks like the Belt of Orion. And then all of a sudden, they merged together in the center, in that very center space that you talked about, that seat of the soul. And it was the most incredibly bright white light that I think I've ever seen in my life. I was like, oh, yeah, that's where I want to sit. I want to go there. It was like I just focused on that. I was like, that's where I want to go be right now. And so I just kind of was there as we were meditating and everything. And I normally mute my cell phone or turn it off when I'm doing any kind of meditations like this or a Zoom call. And because my cell phone will read, it automatically reads text messages to me, and I hear them through my hearing aids immediately. Because I can't read them, so it'll just read it to me when a text message comes in. But I forgot to turn off my phone tonight, and this is the other thing that happened. It was so crazy. I can hardly even tell you what happened. So you're talking about. I didn't realize I'd forgotten to turn off my phone, and you start talking about the moon when you're doing the guided meditation. You just begin to start talking about the moon, the full moon tonight. And I get this text message that comes, you're talking in one ear, and I get this text message that comes in the other ear from my girlfriend across the street that says, OMG, look out the window at the moon. Most amazing thing I've ever seen. And it has a purple halo around it. Everything I'm
Wow.
telling you, like everything in me wanted to open
Wow.
my eyes and go look out the window. I was like, no, no, don't pull yourself out of this meditation. It'll be there when you get done. Just leave it go, let it go, let it go. And so as soon as we finished, the first thing I did was ran and looked out the window and it's like, it has a purple halo. I've never seen that before in my life. The fact that I can even see it is amazing to me. But it's not, it's like a real light lavender purple, but it's got a purple halo around it, at least here in Bend. We have an extremely clear night tonight. And there's only the moon and one chemtrail out there.
I think
Wow.
it's funnier from Bend, light.
Yeah.
Okay, so today the word nova came up to me, and so I wanted to deep dive, and that's kind of also what we're doing with Lisa in our other group. But nova means a transformative burst of energy, connecting, which is the noon, connecting the Vav, the creation, which is Bet, and revelation, which is Hey. This fits beautifully with the astronomical meaning of a nova, a sudden outburst of light and energy from a star, a moment of brilliance before transformation. So it's just like all of those different letters represent so much, and I could go on and on about it. But when I was doing the devotion, I was kind of doing the same thing you guys were, but I felt like I was very grounded on the earth. And I felt like I had these huge wings, but I was doing the six directions. So going left, right, or whatever, like east, west, north, south, up, down, with all that different energy. But when I first started out, the color I kept seeing was yellow, a bright yellow. And I don't know if it was representing my own solar sun inside of me. But then I kind of moved into different colors and stuff. But I felt like it was a very still even I still think I was working with orange and yellow color this time instead of purple. So I kept going, oh, aren't we supposed to be purple? Well, not in my heart. It was more orange and yellow. It was like very phoenix like flames rising up, just like going all the way across the plains where I'm at, all the way back over to the west, to the Pacific coast, and then south and north, and then up and down and stuff is. And I think of that like in the Bible, it talks about the width, the depth, the height, the love that God has for us. So it's a sweeping, radiating love, nova. So that's what I got.
Wow. I love the expansion or and how you explain Nova and how it's this expansion and this light, bright light, but then Devora had that experience of the bright light expanding and blinding almost. Um and I'm still just blown away by the purple ring around the moon right now, like because I've never seen a purple ring around the
Yeah,
moon.
for
I just went
sure.
and took a I just went and took a picture of it, but I don't know how to share it here, Brian. If you can tell me how to share it, I'll share it.
If you're on your Zoom, like there should be little things along the bottom, or if you're on your
Hmm.
phone or a tablet, you may have to like press the screen,
Okay.
like the Zoom screen, and it should bring up along the bottom like a list of a bunch of icons, and one of them, like towards the middle, should be share.
And you have to slide it over because that's what I have to slide that bottom row over, and then you should be able to
No,
see a
okay.
share with a little arrow up. There
Ah,
you go.
beautiful. There you go.
Yeah, it
There it
didn't
is.
come out as good as I wanted to. It's kind of hazy looking. It's not hazy here, but but you can see the
Oh,
purple. Yeah.
definitely. You
You
can
can
see
definitely see
Yeah.
purple.
purple.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, wow,
Yeah.
wow.
Now I don't know how to get out of that, but
Uh,
oh, quit sharing. Okay, there we
there you go.
go.
I think it's amazing that, and it's not a coincidence because I don't believe in those. Uh, we shared our energy with the moon tonight,
Yeah.
and there's a purple aura around the moon now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, come on now. Come on.
Can't get any better
Come
than
on
that.
now. Like, God.
Can't get any better than that, man. Can't get any
Oh,
better. All the elements are working for us. I
wow.
love it. I love it.
Wow. Oh, wow. I am just, yeah. I
And
am,
Shelley, that burst of light thing is exactly what I saw in my brain when I saw that light coalesce. And it was just like all of a sudden it was like this just burst of bright white light in the middle of right in the center of my brain. It was so cool.
this was an amazing session. This was
Okay, let
really
me
good.
explain the nova a little bit more if you're still open to that.
I
Okay,
am.
so nova is representative of the different letters. So Nun represents faithfulness, humility, and transformation. In Kabbalistic thought, symbolizes something that falls but rises again, much like a nova star that suddenly bursts with brightness. It is also linked to water and the flow of life. Hmm. The second letter, Vav, symbolizes connection and continuity. It is the letter that connects words and ideas. Much like a nova is a cosmic event that connects different phases of a star's life cycle. It also represents the number 6, linked to physical creation. Number 3, the next letter, Bet, stands for creation, a house, and duality. It is the first letter of the Torah in the beginning, symbolizing the start of something new, like how a nova represents a new phase in a star's existence. It also carries ideas of shelter and inner space. There you go. Last letter, Hey. He represents breath, revelation, and divine presence. It is associated with openness and expansion. Much like a nova radiates energy into space, in Kabbalah, He is connected to the breath of life and creative expression. That's Nova. Welcome to Nova expansion.
Wowzers. I do, like, I don't know if you guys all caught that, the synchronicities in that explanation, but I heard 6 and I heard 3. And I heard earlier in this conversation, Devora speak of 3 and living on 33, and Shelley brought up 606 being happening and 6. And so I just kind of wanted to throw a quick little splice about angel numbers, So with 3, angel number 3 carries the vibrations of communication itself, expression, adventure, inspiration and creativity, humor, optimism and joy, spontaneity and enthusiasm. Number 3 also symbolizes the principle of increase and growth, expansion and abundance on the mental, emotional, financial, and spiritual levels. Number 3 is the number of manifesting and manifestation and carries the vibration of the ascended masters. The ascended masters help you to focus on the divine spark within yourself and others and assist you with manifesting your desires. They are helping you to find peace, clarity, and love within. Angel number 3 is an indication that your angels are trying to get your attention. The angels and ascended masters want you to follow your intuition and inner wisdom so that you are able to take appropriate action at this time. Use your creative skills and abilities to manifest your desires and enhance your life and that of others. The angels encourage you to follow your life path and soul mission with optimism and enthusiasm. When angel number 3 appears, it suggests that your prayers and positive affirmations have been heard and are being responded by the universal energies. Have faith that your goals and desires will manifest in your life in divine right time. Trust your personal skills and talents and the love and support from the angels. Angel number 3 encourages you to be communicative and social with others and to live your life with joy, optimism, and spontaneity. Wow, wow, wee woo. So now with 6, number 6 is related to the vibrations and energies of unconditional love, balance, and harmony, home and family, domesticity, parenthood, guardianship, service to others, selflessness, responsibility, nurturing, care, empathy, and sympathy, self-sacrifice, humanitarianism, the ability to compromise, emotional depth, honesty and integrity, adjustment, stability, poise, protection, firmness, healing, idealism, just injustice, conscientiousness, burden fearing, solution finding, problem solving, seeing clearly, teaching, convention, curiosity, peace and peacefulness, circulation, grace and dignity, simplicity, reliability, and growth. Number 6 relates to problem solving and signifies the need for stability in all aspects of life. Angel number 6 brings a message from the angels to keep a balance between your material goals and aspirations and your spiritual inner self. Respect yourself and others by taking responsibility for your own life and be honest and fair in all of your dealings. Be grateful for what you have already, as an attitude of
Yes.
gratitude encourages further positive abundance in your life.
Yeah.
Angel number 6 encourages you to be loving, caring, and nurturing of yourself and others. Holy fucking crap. Holy shiza wiza. Is that what we have been doing since the fucking start of it? Wow. Wow.
When you were talking about the threes, I realized, not even intending to, that I mentioned three several times, and I mentioned that the three stars that coalesced into one. I mentioned that 30 years I had lived like that, three. And then I mentioned that I lived on 33rd Court. So I mentioned four threes, which is 12, which the sacred number 12 is reduced down in Kabbalah to three. Yeah.
Well, and then you tie that further,
Woo-hoo.
33, 336. You got your
Right.
6 tie-in,
There
12,
you go.
two
Yep.
sixes.
Right.
Wow.
It's so
Wow.
there's so much synchronicity. I gotta say, I have to make a confession here. I was not gonna jump on tonight because it's just been one of those days, and I'm like, I'm not gonna jump on tonight. I don't think I'm in a good headspace to do this, and I don't want to bring any negative energy. And so I wasn't gonna jump on, and I just, as it got closer and closer to 5, it's like there was just something in me that kept saying, no, stop living from your root chakra and your fears and your anxieties and all of your crap, and just be a big girl, pull up your big girl pants and get on and hold positive energy. And I'm so glad I jumped on tonight.
Mm,
This has been a great
Me
evening.
too. Me
I am
too.
too. I'm glad you all jumped on because this was
I just love all of you.
incredible, incredible session. This is powerful. I didn't know if anybody else wanted to chime in or share. I mean, there's no pressure to, but just wow. The energy. I mean, I also understand if nobody wants to share because I mean, it is pretty wild. And I kind of just want to relish and just enjoy it. Just wow.
You know what, Brian? I think you're totally right, man, because here's what's so beautiful about a full moon, right? A full moon, and by that, I don't mean super weird. It's got to be at the certain hour of the certain day. I mean like the 3 day overlap, which includes before, during, and after a full moon. I just feel like it's a sweet spot. And to me, on special moon things, I know the sleep cycle is out the window because what's going to happen, I'm going to wake up on the inside of my heart in such a beautiful way. I will be at such a deep peace that I will get exactly the rest I need. It will be exactly right. And I will just just enjoy those energies. And what's beautiful, and oh my God, you guys, this is crazy because even if you just purely take it from the Hebrew letter standpoint and you look at the growth, if you look at the exponential growth in just a couple of years, this is insane how this starts. Like it started in Genesis, like in the beginning. in the beginning, let's debate what God is, and then whoever God is, the creator, created heaven and earth. And it's like, no, now it's like, hold on. In the beginning, creator created Aleph Tav. It's like, okay, now these Hebrew letters are like lightening up parts of me on the inside that are like the ultimate jumbotron that I cannot ignore. It's just like, but here's what's cool, man. What's really cool is once I'm done spiritualizing everything and I'm totally okay with me, myself, and I know that I'm surrounded by love and I have the right vibe tribe, and we're all going to get through this like insanity journey just fine. And it's like, okay, great. So nobody has to be insane anymore now. It's just like, oh my God. Now it's like every quantum computer mathematics equation, just none of it even, I don't even have to know what the variables are. I just like see and create it. And it's like, holy moly. Um, it's just totally insane how the Hebrew letters can build those tiny little dots of reality and you just paint them. And I think I'll just say on an empath funny note, I'll just wrap it up with a funny empath perspective, right? Empaths don't have to be like a big victim and they're wounded because they have to be on Mother Earth, but it can be very, very rough ride until you kind of learn what's going on. So my thing is like this, it's like OMG, right? It's like just going so deep inside in that heart space, all the way to the deepest part of our heart, and we already know the very cells that were right there at the very beginning of the zygote, right when our spirit somehow connected with the matter that is now the zygote and the whatever. It's like boom, there's a pulse of light. It's like that's all the freaking flashlight you need for this trail. It's like you've already got it. Just like light a candle, all is well. Um, just fucking enjoy the ride, you guys. Okay, that's what I'm saying.
Does anybody know why it's colder on a new moon? It's always cold on the full moon. It's always colder on a full moon if you notice that. Does anybody know what that is, that phenomena? I didn't even realize it. I didn't know it. I'm 70 years old almost, and I didn't know it until probably about 10 years ago. I keep the Feast of Tabernacles in the fall every year, and it's 7 days that I sleep outside with open to the sky. And in Central Oregon, it's a little cold, and it's usually late September, early, even mid-October. It gets pretty cold. And I always noticed that every year it was so much colder, and the Feast of Tabernacles is always on the full moon. And I always thought, what is the deal with that? And that was when I first realized that it's colder on the full moon, and I started paying attention to that. And if you pay attention to it, it's always several degrees colder the night of the full moon. I don't know why or what that means, but it's a reality.
That's interesting. I mean, I never really, I guess, paid attention or thought about
Yeah,
it,
new
but
to me.
hmm.
New to me, for sure.
Yeah.
New.
Yeah, if you start paying attention to it each month, you'll notice that it's usually about anywhere from 3 to 5 degrees, maybe even like tonight. Last night and tonight. It's going to be probably 15 degrees colder than it was 3 days ago.
Oh,
But it's always at least 3 to 5 degrees colder on a full moon, and I don't know why. I've read that's true. I've done some research and read that it's true, but I don't know what causes that.
hmm. Yeah, I don't
I just
know.
think it's kind of interesting. There's that old tree of knowledge of good and evil creeping up in me, wanting to know something.
Ah,
I'll
that's
let it
good.
go. I'll just let it go.
Let it go. Ah, wowzers. Okay. Um, One last call if anybody feels compelled to share. If not, I think we'll go ahead and wrap up this session. Okay, so then as Ron stated, you had the day before, day after we're in those full moon energies. So continue to play with these full moon energies. Continue to connect infinite threads to the moon and into the earth. Um, Continue over the next week to continue and anchor the energies connecting to the earth and just share these infinite threads as much as possible with everything we can interact with, because the more we share, the wider and the bigger it's going to spread, and the more change that we will begin to see. So I cannot express enough gratitude. Thank you, everybody. This was an incredible session. I am going to be feeling this for a couple days. I definitely feel the power of the moon. Connecting it to it the way we did was incredibly powerful, and I just can't wait to see how this all unfolds. So with that, I'm going to leave on the note that the message I get, and are you all ready to fly? Because it's time. It's time. Let's spread our wings. Thank you all. Thank you all. If you guys are watching this and would like to join the live sessions, reach out to me. You can connect to me, Panda at zenpandatherapies.com, or go to zenpandatherapies.com and reach out through there, or find me on Facebook, because we would love to have you in these live sessions and participating. So thank you all again. Thank you everybody that's participated, and let's keep sharing and creating this energy, because it's definitely making an impact. Thank you all. Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you, Brian. Good night.
Thanks, you guys. Love all you guys. Thank you, Brian. Everything you put into it, man. You guys are the greatest.
Hey, thank you.